Hey everyone, and welcome back to another explainer. Today, we're unpacking a source text that is incredibly raw. Seriously, it acts like a giant mirror held right up to our daily habits. If you're a focused learner looking to just cut through all the noise and get straight into the mechanics of radical ownership, well, let's dive right in.
Right out of the gate, the source hits us with a heavy question and asks us to truly reflect. Am I really living, or am I just existing? It challenges us to actively engage with that thought. Are we actually building the life we dream about? The freedom, the peace, the success? Or are we literally just surviving on autopilot, kind of hoping things will magically change while we endlessly scroll through social media? Okay, let's really unpack this, because this quote hits absolutely hard. The source warns us that hitting the snooze button and wasting an hour here or there, it isn't just harmless procrastination. The stark reality presented here is that you are not killing time, time is killing you. Every single time you say, I'll just do it tomorrow, you are slowly destroying irreplaceable pieces of your life. Time is slipping away, and your dreams are basically just left waiting in the wings. All right, moving right along to section 1, the illusion of time. So the source points out this huge misunderstanding we have about time, which is essentially the root of all our regret. We treat it like it's this bottomless bank account. But you don't get a low battery warning saying your time is almost up. It just ends. The text maps out a procrastination timeline that is painfully accurate. Yesterday, we did nothing. Today, we're waiting around for the perfect moment. And tomorrow actually means never. The source calls out the someday lie, proving that waiting for the perfect time guarantees absolute failure. Why? Because the perfect time literally does not exist. Only your results matter. So, how do we actually break out of this cage of overthinking? The source gives us a specific, highly actionable ratio centered around the number 10. You get a maximum of 10 minutes to think and plan. That is the whole shebang. After that, you dedicate the next 10 hours to immediate, relentless action. Don't build a massive, complicated blueprint for a business you haven't even started. Just act. Success doesn't come from endless thinking. It comes from doing.
Which leads us perfectly into section 2, escaping the comfort zone.
Now, the text makes this fascinating assertion that your comfort zone is actually a trap that is silently killing your dreams. It uses this really vivid metaphor to build on that idea. Think about a seed. A seed that stays safely tucked under the soil never becomes anything. It just remains a seed. But to become a powerful tree, it has to violently break through that uncomfortable dirt and face the harsh sun and the wind above ground. You have to be totally willing to fail loudly and proudly if you ever actually want to grow. And to escape that comfort zone, we've got to get brutally honest about the vocabulary we use every day. The text drops a harsh truth. When you say, I'll do it later, what you are actually saying is, I don't want to do it at all. Later is simply the voice of fear, laziness, and your weaker self trying to keep you trapped in that comfortable, dark soil. Let's move on to section 3, the battle. You versus you. Now, what's really interesting about this part of the source is the central conflict it presents. Your biggest enemy isn't your boss, or the economy, or the algorithm. It's inside your own mind. It breaks down the classic two wolves metaphor. On one side, you have the wolf of distraction, fear, and laziness. On the other side, the wolf of focus, hunger, and strength. Every single day you wake up, these two versions of you are at war. And the winner? It's mathematically simple, honestly. The winner is simply the one you choose to feed. One of the absolute fastest ways to feed that weaker negative wolf is the comparison trap. The source strongly warns against this. It is incredibly destructive to look at a 15-second, perfectly curated online highlight reel and stack it up against your 24 hours of messy, difficult, behind-the-scenes struggles. You aren't seeing their 1,000 failures. You're just seeing their singular, shiny win. The text uses this awesome floral metaphor to really drive the point home. A sunflower and a rose are completely different, right? If they started comparing their heights or their colors, they would both totally forget how uniquely beautiful they are. We absolutely have to stop looking left and right at what everyone else is doing and start looking straight ahead at our own unique path. Your race is only with yourself. All right, on to section 4. Your pain is power. Diving into the source's tough love perspective on hardship, we hit this wild, almost counterintuitive point. Nobody cares about your problems. And that is your greatest power. While it definitely sounds a bit harsh at first, the text actually frames this as a paradoxical comfort. Because nobody is coming to save you, and people are busy fighting their own daily battles. You have absolute freedom. You are completely free to fail, look stupid, and try again, entirely without needing anyone's sympathy or approval. So instead of just slapping a fake smile over your pain, The source gives us a literal blueprint to use it as fuel. First, acknowledge the suffering. Don't shy away or be ashamed of it. Second, actively channel that pain into discipline, art, and raw motivation. And third, let that resilience rebuild you into something infinitely stronger. The darkest nights really do produce the brightest stars.
And that brings us to the final piece. Section 5, pick yourself right now. If nobody is coming to the rescue, the ultimate solution is clear. The text cites some incredibly powerful examples to back this up. Look at Oprah Winfrey, going from poverty to becoming a billionaire, or J.K. Rowling taking 12 harsh rejections straight to the chin before Harry Potter was ever published. These individuals didn't sit around waiting for society to choose them or suddenly believe in them. They picked themselves, and eventually the world literally had no choice but to follow. The message here is loud and clear. Stop waiting for permission. You cannot wait for a phone call, a lucky break, or for someone to finally tap you on the shoulder and say you're good enough. The text also strongly advises that taking directions from people who have never actually walked the path you want to take, that's a massive mistake. You've got to protect your vision, get in the driver's seat of your own life, and write your own name on the opportunity. So the crucial point we're taking away is this 3-step action plan laid out by the source. First, take one risk today. Seriously, just one. Make the call, post the video, apply for the job. Second, actively starve your distractions. And third, feed your focus for 365 days. Actually, scratch that. It's more like locking in a vow for a whole year. The text promises that giving one full year of pure, undistracted effort isn't magic. It's practically mathematical certainty that your life will completely transform.
So, I'll leave you with the ultimate provocative challenge from our source material today. Why not now? Give yourself just one solid reason to delay that isn't just fear in disguise. The clock is ticking, but are you truly equipped to break those old habits? I highly recommend checking out the full source text to dive even deeper into these mechanics, because ultimately, the only person standing in your way is you.